Hughes is an African-American poet, social activist, novelist, and playwright. His 1925 poem, I Too, was about an importance in self-worth, resilience, and acceptance. Overall, it demonstrated a confidence and identity, which now, after 100 years, is deeply needed in our world.
I Too by Langston Hughes. I too sing America. I am the darker brother. They send me to eat in the kitchen when company comes, but I laugh and eat well and grow strong. Tomorrow I'll be at the table when company comes. Nobody will dare say to me, eat in the kitchen then. Besides, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I too am America.
We're here to discuss Langston Hughes' I Too poem. And before we do that, I would love to go around the room and introduce ourselves. My name is Mr. Tauber. I'm an 8th grade social studies teacher at Lawrence Road.
Hi, I'm Eliana, and I'm an 8th grade student here at Lawrence Road.
Hi, I'm Mia Romero, and I'm an 8th grade student in Lawrence Road.
Hi, I'm Ion Rana. I'm an 8th grade student at Lawrence Road Middle School.
Hi, I'm Maya Greer, and I'm an 8th grade student at Lawrence Road.
Hi, I'm Brian Sandoval. I'm an 8th grade student from Lawrence Road.
O'Connor Griffin. I'm a student at Lawrence Road.
And we're really lucky to have one of my favorite colleagues here as well.
Keith Cole, social worker, Lawrence Road Middle School.
Well, thanks everybody for coming and joining. I think it's a really important topic, and I know we did some of this work in class, and I loved what you did with it so much that I think it's important for us to share. So we just read the I Too Sing America poem, and we realized how powerful it is. And I think those last 2 or 3 lines, God bless you, they'll see how beautiful I am and be ashamed. I too am America. I think they say a lot. What do you think the significance of those last 2 lines of the poem are?
That soon one day, they'll be ashamed of ever discriminating against them, segregating them, like guilt.
Really good. Really good.
I also agree with Ion, but I would also like to say that they not only would be ashamed, but they would also allow people from different religions to be part of the society.
Religion, race, gender. I like that. I like that a lot. Anybody else? And feel free, you guys don't have to raise your hand. We're as informal as possible, so you're more than welcome to just put your input in when you're comfortable. Do you think this poem, Maya, you wanted to add something? Okay.
Yeah. I feel like when they say you'll be ashamed, I feel like later on they would say, or they would actually realize what they've done and how it affected, and then say, wow, we really did this in the future. And then hopefully society will change because of this realization.
I love that, the fact that you're saying that maybe society will be reflective. Maybe we'll learn from our past. And really, he talks a lot about America in here. And for as imperfect as America is, and America is imperfect, the beauty of our country is that we have been reflective and we have been able to change and we have been able to improve. And I love that you hit upon that point, because the next question I want to ask is, does this poem still have meaning 100 years later? Does it still have meaning today in our lives? Do you find some connection to this poem in your own lives?
Yes, because in the grand scheme of the poem, it reflects America's race relations culture. First, they were the darker brother that sent them to eat at the kitchen. They were segregated, discriminated against. But then they grew strong, they protested, and now they're ashamed of what they did before. It summarized America's race relations culture.
I love it.
I also believe that this poem still has meaning because there are still many people being discriminated from society today, and then those people are still they're looking for redemption. Basically, they want to contribute to society, and one of these examples is perhaps the comeback of the BLM movement in 2020.
I love that you talk about looking for redemption, wanting to be part of society, wanting to be accepted into society. I love that. So let's go to this last part, and I think this is really where we are now and where we want to go, where we want to be. How do we make the country we live in? how do we make this a more inclusive America? How do we make this a place where, regardless of race, regardless of gender, regardless of religion, you feel part of it? What do we do? What steps do we take?
I mean, the segregation and the diversity that's happening right now, and everyone being split up into groups, I think it's more because of other people's opinions if they're living in the past. I think we should all be open-minded to what we are living in today, and that these are different times.
Also, everyone is unique in their own way, and as being a contribution to society, everybody could, contribute and make everything the way that they want to, make their vision, their world.
I love the word vision.
Yeah, I agree with like Mia and Brian about how I feel like it's not one person's job to change the world. I feel like it's everybody's mindset that should be fixated on how do I include more people, or how do I feel more included into society based on how I look, based on how I feel, and based on how you just perceive life. I feel like everybody should be accepted in America, and everybody needs to realize that everybody is different, and everybody can feel a certain way for somebody, but it also has to be respectful.
I love that. I love that.
I
Okay,
feel,
please.
I feel as people in America, we should accept the society we live in.
What do you mean?
What I mean is, like, don't discriminate against others. Like, let's say someone is part of the LGBTQ community, we shouldn't discriminate against them.
Right. So even if someone lives life differently than you live life, we should be accepting.
Mhm.
It's beautiful. And the word that I jumped out at me, the idea of understanding where other people come from. Empathy. Right? If we have a more empathetic society, doesn't mean we all have to agree, but if we could try to understand each other, we might be able to move forward. I know you wanted to add something.
I think really we shouldn't view anybody as less than who you think yourself is, because it's not fair to just discriminate people based on how they look or because they're religion.
I think how we can build a more inclusive America is by being more social. Because you see, the thing is, when people are like asocial, they're not interacting with anyone else, they're left with a few things. And especially these people go to the internet, and the internet is filled with more radical viewpoints that separate people even more and more. So if we can socialize, then there will be more empathy, and then people can reach a common ground, and people will realize that these radical viewpoints are not true and are heavily exaggerated.
I love it.
And also, to achieve our ideal utopia, we must be accepting of all religions, races, beliefs, so LGBTQ, everything.
And I love the fact that when we're studying Black history, and we're making connections to our lives today, and we're making connections to acceptance today. And I think that's the purpose, that's the movement. I feel so good about our future just from the conversation of having with young people. Like, I don't really know if you guys realize how impressive you are. Like, the fact that we have these conversations and that you're bold enough to sit here and talk about really difficult topics and dive into important literature is really, really impressive. And I think that's one of the ways we're going to move forward. The other thing that made me so proud is when you guys created your own I2 poems. And I think the next step is to share some of those connections and some of those pieces of work that we created ourselves. So I can't wait to do that next. Great job.
I am and I don't. I am American and I don't have white skin. I am a female and I don't have blonde straight hair. I am a scholar and I don't go to a private school. I am grateful and I don't have parents with degrees. I am American and I have tan skin. I am a female and I have brown frizzy hair. I am a scholar and I go to a public school. I am grateful and my parents work for low pay. I am what society calls imperfect. but this is who I am. I am confident people will know my name. And I am poor, but don't mistake me for unimportant, because I am important and I don't doubt it. By Mira Romero.
We are Hispanic. We are the Hispanic brethren. We have a place in America. They tell us not to cross their borders. We knock on their door, but alas, they do not answer. Our parents worked hard for a place in this society. Tomorrow, we'll open the door and nobody will dare say to us, you don't belong here. They'll see how beautiful we are. We Hispanics have dreams in America. Somos hispanos. Somos los hermanos hispanos. Tenemos un lugar en América. Nos dicen que no crucemos sus fronteras. Llamamos a su puerta, pero no contestan. Nuestros padres trabajaron duro por un lugar en esta sociedad. Mañana abriremos la puerta y nadie se atreverá a decirnos, tú no perteneces aquí. Verán los hermosos que somos. Los hispanos tenemos sueños en América.
I too, author unknown. I too am America. I am Hispanic. I am young. I am strong. And I am proud. I belong. No one will dare tell me that I don't fit in, because I know who or what I am. I belong here or anywhere. I too am America.
I too am America. I am a Haitian brother. They didn't understand me when I came, but I sat, listened, and understood. They used to make fun of me and my accent. Now they respect me, understand me, and accept me. I too am America.
I too have been insecure, walking into a lunchroom filled with laughter and chatter, knowing that for me, my company was just my platter. I too have watched groups of friends walk to class and take pictures together, the hope that one day I can experience those same pleasures. I too had my fantasy turn into reality when some really great people befriended me. Radiant smiles can be seen on my face as my friends and I create precious memories. Poem by Eliana.
We too are teenage girls. We too have value. They have an image in their head on how we are supposed to look. They tell us to cover up. They catcall us even though we're young. We too have struggles. We too are teenage girls. Written by Hannah, Nayla, and Angela.